The ancient Egyptians held a unique perspective on masturbation. They viewed it as an act of creation, intrinsically linked to their cosmology. Central to this belief was Atum, the self-created god. Atum, in Egyptian mythology, was said to have masturbated to create the first gods, Shu and Tefnut. This act established masturbation as a sacred practice, a testament to the generative power of the universe. It was not seen as a taboo subject, rather, it was integrated into their understanding of life and the cosmos. The Nile River's annual flooding, essential for agriculture, was even linked to Atum's act of self-stimulation. This connection further solidified the idea of masturbation as a life-giving force. It was a celebration of fertility and creation, deeply intertwined with their religious beliefs. This positive view of masturbation in ancient Egypt underscores the diverse ways different cultures have viewed sexuality throughout history. It serves as a reminder that our current perspectives are not universal. They are products of specific cultural and historical contexts that continue to evolve. Ancient Greece and Rome, often lauded for their intellectual and cultural advancements, held more complex and often contradictory views on masturbation. Early Greek philosophers like Plato explored the nature of pleasure and desire, with some, like Democritus, advocating for moderation in all things, including sexual activity. Plato, in his work Laws, suggested that sexual activity should primarily serve procreation. However, he acknowledged the existence of sexual pleasure outside of reproduction. This led to a degree of acceptance for masturbation, particularly among young men, as a means of managing desire. The Romans, known for their more pragmatic approach to life, generally viewed sex as a natural human need. However, as Roman society became increasingly influenced by Stoicism, a philosophy emphasizing self-control and reason, attitudes towards non-procreative sexual acts, including masturbation, began to shift. This gradual shift towards a more conservative outlook set the stage for the significant changes in attitudes that would occur with the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire. The once open approach to sexuality, including masturbation, would face increasing scrutiny and condemnation in the centuries to come. The rise of Christianity in the West ushered in a new era of sexual morality, one that cast a long shadow on attitudes toward masturbation. Early Christian theologians, drawing upon Jewish interpretations of the Old Testament story of Onan, condemned non-procreative sexual acts as sinful. Masturbation, falling squarely within this category, became increasingly taboo. The Catholic Church, gaining influence throughout Europe, solidified this stance, deeming masturbation a sin against nature and God's will. This theological perspective permeated medieval society, shaping laws, social norms, and individual beliefs. Penance, often severe, was prescribed for those who engaged in self-pleasure. The fear of divine retribution and social ostracism cast a pall over open discussions of sexuality. Masturbation, shrouded in secrecy and shame, became a topic whispered about in hushed tones, if at all. The medieval period, marked by its emphasis on religious piety and strict moral codes, effectively drove masturbation underground, where it would remain for centuries. The Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason and scientific inquiry, might have offered a glimmer of hope for a more nuanced understanding of sexuality. However, the 18th and 19th centuries witnessed the rise of a new form of condemnation, medicalization. Physicians, rather than theologians, became the arbiters of sexual morality, often perpetuating harmful myths and misconceptions. One of the most influential figures in this medicalization of masturbation was Swiss physician Samuel August Tissot. His 1758 treatise Onanism claimed that masturbation led to a host of physical and mental ailments, including blindness, impotence, and insanity. Tissot's work, widely disseminated and embraced by the medical community, fueled a moral panic around masturbation. This medicalization of self-pleasure reached its peak during the Victorian era, a time characterized by its rigid social mores and obsession with purity. Masturbation, deemed a dangerous and degenerate act, was believed to undermine the very fabric of society. Treatments, often barbaric, ranged from special diets to genital mutilation, highlighting the extent to which fear and misinformation had taken hold. The demonization of masturbation during this period left a lasting legacy, shaping societal attitudes and perpetuating shame well into the 20th century. It would take a new wave of scientific inquiry and a growing movement for sexual liberation to challenge these deeply ingrained beliefs. Section 5. A Century of Change, Freud, Kinsey, and the Sexual Revolution. The 20th century, marked by tumultuous social and scientific advancements, witnessed a seismic shift in attitudes toward masturbation. This transformation was driven by two key factors: the groundbreaking work of Sigmund Freud and Alfred Kinsey, and the social and cultural upheaval of the sexual revolution. Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, challenged Victorian notions of sexuality, arguing that it was a fundamental human drive present from birth. He viewed masturbation as a normal stage of psychosexual development, not a sign of deviance or pathology. This radical departure from prevailing medical opinion opened up new avenues for understanding human sexuality. Alfred Kinsey, a biologist by training, further challenged conventional wisdom with his landmark studies on human sexual behavior in the 1940s and 1950s. His research, based on thousands of interviews, revealed that masturbation was far more common than previously thought, practiced by a majority of men and a significant percentage of women. These scientific breakthroughs coincided with the social and cultural upheavals of the 1960s and 1970s. The sexual revolution, fueled by movements for civil rights, feminism, and LGBTQ+ liberation, challenged traditional sexual norms and advocated for greater openness and acceptance. Masturbation, once relegated to the shadows, became part of a broader conversation about sexual freedom and bodily autonomy. Section 6. The Modern Landscape: Acceptance, Stigma, and Everything in Between. We stand today at a crossroads in our cultural understanding of masturbation. While the 20th century witnessed significant progress in destigmatizing self-pleasure, remnants of past shame and misinformation persist. We live in a world of contradictions, where acceptance and stigma often coexist. In many parts of the world, particularly in the West, masturbation is increasingly viewed as a normal and healthy part of human sexuality. Educational resources, readily available online and in schools, provide accurate information about self-pleasure, dispelling harmful myths and promoting a positive view of sexuality. However, cultural and religious differences continue to shape attitudes toward masturbation. In some societies, deeply rooted religious beliefs maintain their influence, perpetuating negative perceptions and even legal restrictions. Even in more liberal contexts, individuals may grapple with internalized shame or encounter misinformation that fuels anxiety and guilt. The modern landscape is one of progress and ongoing challenges. Open dialogue, comprehensive sex education, and continued scientific inquiry are crucial to dismantling remaining barriers and fostering a society where individuals can explore their sexuality without fear or judgment. Section 7. The Science of Self-Love. Debunking Myths and Misconceptions. Science has played a crucial role in debunking the harmful myths and misconceptions that have long surrounded masturbation. We now understand that self-pleasure is a natural and healthy human behavior, devoid of the dire consequences once attributed to it. Studies have consistently shown that masturbation does not cause physical harm. It does not lead to blindness, impotence, hair loss, or any of the other ailments touted by proponents of abstinence. In fact, some research suggests that regular ejaculation, whether through intercourse or masturbation, may have certain health benefits, such as reducing the risk of prostate cancer in men. From a psychological perspective, masturbation is a normal and healthy way to explore one's sexuality, manage stress, and promote relaxation. It allows individuals to learn about their bodies, discover what feels good, and develop a sense of body positivity. It can also be a source of pleasure and self-care, fostering a positive relationship with one's sexuality. Of course, as with any human behavior, balance and context are key. Excessive masturbation that interferes with daily life or relationships may warrant attention, but this is more likely a symptom of underlying emotional or psychological issues rather than a consequence of the act itself. Section 8. Masturbation and Relationships, a healthy conversation. Masturbation, often seen through the lens of individual experience, also plays a role in the dynamics of intimate relationships. Open communication and a willingness to address the topic honestly are crucial for fostering healthy and fulfilling partnerships. For some couples, masturbation is a source of shared intimacy and exploration. It can be a way to enhance sexual experiences, experiment with fantasies, and maintain a sense of connection even when physically apart. Openly discussing preferences and boundaries around masturbation can strengthen trust and understanding. However, for other couples, masturbation may be a point of contention, often rooted in insecurity, jealousy, or differing libidos. It's essential to approach these conversations with empathy and a willingness to understand each other's perspectives. Seeking professional guidance from a therapist or counselor specializing in sex and relationships can be beneficial in navigating these sensitive issues. Ultimately, the key to a healthy approach to masturbation in relationships lies in open communication, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to understanding and supporting each other's needs and desires. Section 9. A final word: embracing ourselves and our sexuality. As we continue to navigate the complexities of human sexuality in the 21st century, it's essential to approach the topic of masturbation with honesty, compassion, and a commitment to scientific understanding. The journey from ancient myths to modern science has been long and arduous, marked by both progress and setbacks. We must continue to challenge harmful stereotypes, dismantle remaining taboos, and foster a society where individuals can embrace their sexuality with confidence and without fear of judgment. This requires ongoing education, open dialogue, and a willingness to confront our own biases and preconceived notions. Masturbation, far from being a source of shame or secrecy, is a normal and healthy part of human experience. It's time we embrace this aspect of our sexuality with the same openness and acceptance we afford other aspects of our lives. By doing so, we create a world where individuals can live authentically, celebrate their bodies, and experience the full spectrum of human pleasure and connection.